Hey, yo, what the f***? This is a palace right here.
The late night flight is paid for by the following.
Time to play the game where we find out who's capping. It is This Is Some Bull.
This is the game where we find out if this is the bullshit. One more time. This is the game where we find out if this is the bullshit. One more time. This is the game where we find out if this is the bullshit. I am Nasua New Brew. And with me, as always, is co-producer Smartz. Smartz, what's going on with you, sir?
Everything is good. Actually, I want to say happy anniversary to my wife. We celebrated our anniversary on January 11th, 2022. We got married January 11th, 2011.
It's your anniversary.
Yeah.
Anniversary. All right, anyways, check me out, Smartz. I got a quick question for you. As you know, Sidney Portier just passed away not too long ago, so I got a quick film actor question for you. Is Sidney Portier the first Denzel Washington, or is Denzel Washington the second coming of Sidney Portier?
Ooh.
Yeah, please hurry up, though. Yes.
Denzel's the second Sidney Portier.
I said the same thing.
For sure.
Sidney Portier, he's a theater actor the same way Denzel is. Got an Oscar, just like Denzel. I think he's the first Denzel. I think Denzel's the first him, I meant to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there you go. But shout out to Sidney Portier for everything that he has done for film, for Black Americans in film. That man's a GOAT amongst GOATs.
Absolutely.
Are you ready to start this game?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to start this game?
I am ready. Nah.
According to the New York Daily News, Quebec's health minister, Christian Dubé, announced on January the 6th that the citizens of Quebec will be enforced to show proof of vaccination in order to enter and purchase from government-owned liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries. Smartz, check this out. After the mandate was announced, health officials saw a big rise in vaccine appointment requests averaging 1,500 per day. The number of appointments rapidly increased to 6,000 appointments this past week. Health Minister Christian Dubé believes that the new rule will help to cut back the spread of COVID-19 by confining where unvaccinated people can frequent to. Dubé recently said in a press conference, if the unvaccinated aren't happy with this situation, well, there is a simple solution at your disposal. It is to get vaccinated. It's free. Smartz, I ask you, is it the bullshit that you can take away my jobs, you can take away my family, you can take away my attendance from my place of worship, but what you won't do, Smartz, is take away my orange Kush and my Grand Marnier away from me because that helped me cope with my job, my family, and my religion.
Wow, that's some BS. That's how they giving it up in Quebec, huh? Wow. Aren't you glad you live in the United States of America where you could get as drunk and high as you want without being vaccinated? Wow.
But I believe that Biden woke up and was like, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
Let's see how this works. But there are no government-owned liquor stores, I don't think.
No. But we shouldn't have said that.
Oh.
Here goes the next one. Yo, you know Lil Meech, right?
Yeah.
Lil Meech is out here.
Okay.
Hey, yo, check this out. Lil Meech is making headlines after a soundbite of a woman claiming he had poor hygiene went viral. This is what the woman had to say in an Instagram live interview this past Friday night, January the 7th.
I just want to say, Lil Meech was very musty on Friday night. He had went to 6 places and he smelled like a pound of onions. I just want to know what possessed him to put on that long sleeve shirt and to be so musty like that.
Wow. Meech, who stars on... Yo, that's funny.
No.
Meech, who stars in season 2 of HBO's Euphoria and is the breakout star of 50 Cent's show on Starz, Black Mafia Family, addressed the woman's claims after 50 Cent reposted the viral clip. Little Meech comment says, lying straight through her teeth, bro. You know she was fiending for the picture. So Smartz, I gotta ask you, is it the bullshit that this article did not let us know that Little Meech will also be starring in Slumdog Millionaire 2, Bollywood Mafia Family?
Wow. That is some BS. Oh my gosh.
And finally, who said don't do Uber?
Let's go.
Uber driver Devontae Williams was just focused on getting his teenage passenger home safely to her parents' house during a 5-hour gridlock on Interstate 95 in Virginia, along with countless other vehicles. The part-time Uber driver told CNN he did not know that Monday's severe winter storm had created a 50-mile-long backup that left some motorists stranded for more than 24 hours when he agreed to make the trip from Washington, D.C. to Williamsburg, Virginia. The 32-year-old Devontae Williams said he picked up the girl at Union Station at about 2 a.m. on Tuesday after her train had been canceled because of the weather conditions. They were about 20 miles into the 2.5-hour trip when Williams realized there was a problem. "I noticed trucks and cars. There's a ton of red lights ahead of me," he said. He tried taking an alternative route, but police directed him back onto the interstate because those roads were closed due to downed trees and power lines. He kept checking on his passenger, offering her drinks and snacks that he kept in the car. "She's telling me she's okay, but I can hear her on the phone talking to her family and her friends, and I can hear that she's just exhausted, emotional, and just plain old tired." This is what he said. Devontae Williams said he didn't have any blankets in the car, and he was so concerned about his gas getting low from him running the car to use the heat. He eventually able to follow a work truck and some other cars and turn around on I-95 and head back to D.C. Williams did not want to leave the passenger at Union Station all by herself, so he convinced her parents to let him get a hotel room for her with his own money so that she could rest and be safe. The parents were reluctant at first, of course they were, but agreed that it was the best idea. He got her checked into a hotel at about 8 o'clock in the morning, offered to take the passenger back to Williamsburg for free once the roads cleared. But luckily, a friend of the family was able to take her home. So around about 8:30 Tuesday night, she texted Devontae and said to him that she was safe. She thanked him for everything. The parents thanked him for everything, for doing what he did for the daughter because he didn't have to do it. Uber is not only reimbursing Devontae Williams for the cost of the hotel room and thanking him so much for what he did for the passenger. A company spokesperson for Uber said in an email, A company spokesperson for Uber said in an email to CNN that Mr. Williams went above and beyond during his very stressful situation, and we thank him for his thoughtful actions. How much they thanked him, Smartz? Devontae Williams got paid $107 for the ride, but his extraordinary customer service has earned him a new opportunity. He's offered a part-time job as lead driver at Alto, an upscale rideshare company that operates in Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, and D.C.
Okay.
Whatever. Smartz, I ask you.
Let's go.
I ask you, Smartz, Smartz, I ask you. I ask you, Smartz, Smartz, I ask you.
I'm curious how this is going to end.
Smartz, are you ready, Smartz?
Yes.
That's my new thing. You ever realize I'm doing that lately?
Hey.
Are you ready, Smartz?
Hey, man.
Smartz, are you ready?
Hurry up.
Smartz, I ask you, is it the bullshit that he isn't the first male driver to offer a teenage girl snacks and drinks while in the car for 5 hours before booking a hotel for her? You ain't gotta answer that.
Wow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's a bunch of us. I'm in the colony.
Hold on. Everybody on their mountain, everybody marching for a young nigga like me to get tsunami on it. I'ma get it, I'ma win it, baby. I'll be on my curry till like Patrick Bird, 40 on attack. Yeah, I'm acting nerdy if it's at the Appalachian to the Appalachian. I'ma do whatever that they take to make a black a nation. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sweets, and I'm your chief flight attendant. On behalf of the pilot and the entire crew, welcome aboard the late night flight. And here is your captain, the Nile River of New Jersey, the pilot of Tuskegee Training, the greatest honey badger who has ever lived, the creator of Black Pilot Radio and the Late Night Flight. Here is the victorious one, Nasor Nuru.
What up, my passengers? We are first in priority. Donate to the Cash App $, the Late Night Flight to get this work from minorities. The Late Night Flight, oh, you never heard of it? Turn up the turbulence. Catch us on these Apple Podcasts and these Spotify services. iHeartRadio, YouTube, and the Late Night QR scan. Download Audible, download Amazon, just to hear us back and forth like a U-Haul fan. Yo, I started out not ahead of you. Now look at me.
I'm the pilot with the better view, making sure you can hear all 76 episodes wherever podcasts are available. Now let's take off.
Hey, B. Man, I've been sitting back waiting for the moment, man, to see you run down the field again, brother. I told you from day one, this was going to be a tough move. You made it. You came through the fire. Be ready to see the light. Cause the friends ready for you to be back.
I'm from the pit, not the palace. I'm kinda stylish. Lifestyle lavish. Jump in the coupe with no mileage. Run it, style it. I'm from the pit, not the palace. I gotta run it, style it. Hit on the gas, make it growl it. Jump in the coupe with no mileage. So listen, I played receiver in the NFL 12 years. CTE is an autopsy revealed on your brain from trauma to the head. Being a football player, you're gonna have some trauma to the head, regardless of what you do. Any skill position, no matter where you play, it's gonna be some trauma to the head. So Vincent Jackson, can you put him up? Because he used to play for the Bucs. He died from CTE?
Yeah.
And the Bucs, on the other hand, say AB is crazy. He may have CTE. He need to get some help. You think these people care about if I got CTE? Did you see them do anything for Vincent Jackson like they did for Demaryius Thomas? Did they put his number on the field?
Is it bad for business?
I didn't even get to that part yet. Life is not about business. It's about people, man, human beings. That's what I'm saying. In this world we live in, people think business. What about this guy used to work for your business? He died for CTE. These guys didn't put none on the field, bring his family. They didn't do anything to bring awareness to this guy. Now these guys tell me get the off the field. And now I got to answer questions about maybe having CTE.
So when he said that, I have to admit, and y'all about to laugh at me, but if I didn't sound like I was more on his side last week, well, I am even more on this man's side right now. And it's because look, it's not about him being right or wrong, because I think what he did as far as leaving the field the way he did was probably the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
Overall, what he's saying as an individual, as a player, a top tier player in the league, he's absolutely right.
There's no escaping it.
Is no escaping the fact that, I don't care whether the Buccaneers say, his ankle messed up, we need him to sit down, or he's saying, my ankle messed up, I need to sit down. It's at this point is, okay, this man is trying to make some money. He has incentives that he's looking to make, and he has to play hard and reach these thresholds in order to get whatever extra money he's looking to get, which was only $1 million. His argument...
Only? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Listen, let's be honest. In 2017, he was the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. So for this guy...
$1 million is not really a big deal.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I get where you're going. I'm with you on that.
How many games left in the season?
None.
Playoffs start this week.
You know where I'm going with it? All right, go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, so hear me out. Let's just go in real time, because I do want to talk about Shannon Sharpe and this black conservative guy. Like, they're more important, and then we can really get into things. So here's the thing. Antonio Brown is looking to make his money because realistically, he got cut from the Raiders. I don't know if y'all know the story, but he was using this freezing technology. I'm paraphrasing, but it left blisters on his feet. He wasn't able to practice. He started throwing his helmet around. He started catching attitudes with some of the staff that's there. That's why they suspended him. But the reason why they didn't mind suspending him, because in their contract, if Antonio Brown was getting in trouble and he got suspended, they would take money away from him. That's why he acted up, never went back to practice, and made sure they release him. He said, I don't screw the money that you're going to give me because y'all already trying to dock my pay. I ain't even play a game yet.
Y'all trying to dox me. I'm not playing for any less than what I signed for.
Release me.
Go.
Release me. That's when he wound up in New England. Now, this is where he's not in the wrong totality. It's just like, hey, as people, you make mistakes. That whole situation with the woman came up.
Right.
Now you got to go for a while. You got to leave. You can't play in New England because the last time he played in New England, he had a 3-touchdown game versus the Dolphins. Now you're a Buccaneer. You come around with a fake vaccine card. I'm not here to have that type of semantic. Like, however you feel about COVID stance, I'm not here to make that stance with you. That's just what you wanted to do. You got in trouble for that. You got in trouble for a few other things. The organization is like, we about to play a game on you. We about to circle the wagons on you. We getting tired of you. But here's the problem with all that tired of you. Antonio Brown, realistically, even though he's not the most paid wide receiver on the Buccaneers, he's the best wide receiver on the Buccaneers. Mike Evans or Gronkowski. He wants to make his incentives so he can make money. Now, I'm going to leave it there for a second. Jerz, you want to say anything before I play the clip?
It was one game when he left. That was the last game of the season when he walked out.
And I'm glad you said that.
It was one game after that, right?
It was Carolina. And I feel as though that he was willing to just like, look, you know what? I want to just rest. I don't want to play. Because he was saying that Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanted him to get in the game. And he's saying,
I believe that.
I have torn ligaments. I have a deltoid ligament that's torn up. I can't really go the way I want to, whether he wants to make his incentives or not. And this is where I give him a pass because the next week when they played Carolina, Brady got back in the game. They blew out Carolina. He got back in the game just to give Gronk a couple passes so he could get his incentives. And then they pulled him out. So Brady doesn't have an issue with helping you get your money.
Right.
It's just that AB was like, yo, I can't play right here.
I don't even need the money. I can't play.
And they like, oh, nah, you out of here, dog.
He believes he has CTE?
He's telling you that, if you listen to the clip, he's saying to you that, yo, you can't know you have CTE until you die.
Until you die. You can't diagnose somebody with CTE while they're alive.
So what he's saying is that the trauma that the players collect is the trauma that the players collect. It's nothing that they can do about it.
That's facts. I guess I'm not understanding.
All right, let's go through some more clips and maybe we'll be able to clear it up for you. So where you want to go?
I want to go to Shannon Sharpe. I want to hear what Shannon Sharpe has to say because I'm about to rip my man, and I love Shannon Sharpe. I'm about to rip him right now. Go ahead.
A lot of people giving him a pass because he's black. Let's be all the way real, because I see my timeline and they share it. And see, here's the problem. None of the black Buccaneer players can come out and say what BA said is true, because then they're going to get labeled Uncle Tom. They're going to get called a coon because now, oh, you stick it up, you a slave to the white man. That's what's going to happen. That's what I'm getting, but I don't care. I'm just going by I'm just telling you, having played 14 years in the league, knowing his history, I believe I don't know really either one of the guys. Yeah, we had AB on the show one time. That's the only time I've ever met Antonio Brown in my life. I've never met BA. I'm just going by his history, AB's history, what I saw Sunday, what I've seen from BA and talking to people that have played under BA and been around BA. I believe it. I believe Antonio Brown reacted the way he did, not because his ankle was injured, but because he wasn't going to get the targets that he needed to get the incentives that he needed.
Yep. First of all, Shannon Sharpe, you're dead wrong because he could have did that the next week. He was only 55 yards away from one of his incentives. He could have easily did that with one pass.
So why didn't he get in the game?
Because his ankle was hurt.
Did he play in the game that game?
A little bit. He had like one snap.
Sorry, I ain't trying to hear that, man.
Okay, so
playing hurt is part of any sports.
All right.
Period.
But you can decide, and this is where I agree with him on the podcast. You get to decide when you've had enough. If a doctor can look at you and tell you you had enough, you should be able to tell them, I had enough. You know how much pain you're in. You know if you can continue. And he said that he can't run full speed. So he didn't feel like it would made any sense for him to play because he couldn't play at the level that he's used to playing.
Okay.
No. Let me give you an example. I'm going to switch sports.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, because all right. Right.
If that's the case, then that other narrative should not be out there, that he got mad, that he wasn't going to get the targets to get the incentives.
But that's what he
can't be both.
No. The narrative, he's saying that he was hurt. Other people are saying you wasn't hurt. You weren't get the looks that you wanted to get so you can get your incentives. Because on the podcast, there's an ulterior motive to demonize him because of the antics that he put on. Because he's not afraid to speak out because he doesn't fall in line.
And here's what I want to say to all of that. To be real with the American public, the answer is that it's both. Yes, Antonio Brown was hurt. And yes, Antonio Brown wants to get the incentives. But what's wrong with that? Shannon Sharpe. Now, Jerz, you watch sports. Hear me out with Shannon Sharpe, the famous Bronco, the famous Raven. Have you ever seen any histrionics about my man Shannon Sharpe? Have you ever seen him do a touchdown celebration? Shannon Sharpe.
Not that I can recall.
Shannon Sharpe is not that type of guy, which brings me to another thing about our Black Americans. Black Americans. Now, I'm not like, I'm about to say something crazy. There's some Black Americans that play a humble game, that don't like touchdown celebrations and all the histrionics that some Black American players do. And there's some Black American players that love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some Black Americans, I personally think, the ones that don't like the fun stuff, I think they've been too into the white culture, because white culture is not really into that. And I just be like, yo, don't shit on my man Terrell Owens because he out here having fun. He's actually one of the best wide receivers you ever seen in your life. But I will also say there are Black Americans that just don't like all of that show me, it's all about me type of display. Some people like you to just walk it. Don't talk it and walk it. Some people just into that. Antonio Brown is someone that walks it and talks it. He's one of the best wide receivers you've seen in the mid-2010 era. So I'm going to say mid-2010. The 2010 era. So from 2010 to 2020, Antonio Brown is one of the 5 best wide receivers ever. You can check the stats and you can sit there and make your own assumption. But he is. And what I see from what Shannon Brown, I keep calling him Shannon Brown twice. Shannon Sharpe, what I see from him is like, yo, my man, he's not you. He's not you. This is not a person that is going to play the strong, humble, reserved, all man, all macho. That's not him. He's like he called himself. He's a gremlin. He likes to play around. He's a problem child. But he's a problem child that can produce touchdowns and yards for you, and he works harder than most other wide receivers.
It doesn't matter if it was CTE or anything like that, because we know that the league is going to play you. They're going to run your body through the ground. Now, you should be able to decide what to do and what not to do with your body if you stand on a certain principle. And so I may disagree with people on what they're doing, but if that's their principle, I let them have it, because we all can be wrong about them at the end of the day.
I just think this is all antics. I don't think he was seriously hurt enough to not get back in the game. But he asked them for $2 million.
See, if you watch the podcast, he shot them communications. When they said that they didn't talk to him,
he showed them text.
They lied.
He showed them text.
No, hold on. I got that part.
So he texted them and told them he was hurt.
Before or after he asked them for his $2 million to be guaranteed incentives? Before or after he asked them?
It was before the game. What are you talking about?
They
knew he was hurt before the game.
Hold on. 1 second, Smartz, because you can say whatever you want. One second. Jerz, you got to realize that the organization laid out the contract, so they definitely know what the incentives they put together for.
No, that's not what I'm saying. His incentives aren't guaranteed. He has to hit certain milestones to get the incentives.
But what I'm saying is the organization...
He went to the GM and said, can my incentives be guaranteed? $2 million, right? He wanted it to be guaranteed. They told him no.
Right.
Now he got an injury. Yeah. Now there's an outburst in the game. That's antics.
He has to play.
Think about this. This is one of the...
He has to play to get the money.
Hold on, Smartz.
That's all.
Not only do we have to play to get the money, he's one of the best wide receivers. Sometimes when you're the best... but when you're the best, listen, you don't want to just jump out and have to prove yourself on a proven contract. He's only getting paid up to $3 million. And on top of that, out of the $3 million, he has to work hardest to get the one.
Agreed. I'm not disagreeing.
The deltoid,
I'm just making a point.
The deltoid?
It's a deltoid ligament.
Deltoid ligament, they already know. Hold on. From a medical perspective, they know it's done. They know that he needs surgery for it. So it's not you're faking an injury.
I'm not saying he's faking. What I'm saying is if they would have gave him the $2 million, none of this would have happened.
If they would have gave him the $2 million guaranteed, hold on, if they'd have guaranteed him the million, he would have sat on the bench. He wouldn't have left the game.
And just to
That's
let
my point.
Hey, yo, hold up. And I also want to let you know something.
Why would you leave the game?
Hold on, Smartz. And Jerz, hold on, but I also want to let you know something about what you just said, Jerz. He also just came back from injury. He's been out since October.
That's true.
You know, right? So this is another thing. This is what I'm saying. It's like he has to fight an organization that does not care about any player on that level as far as knowing that they're profiting from the player's pain. And then on top of it, he's Antonio Brown. So he already know that technically he's not well liked in an organization. But he also is somebody that the organization knows they need in order to get a ring. Okay, fellas, before we play the poker game, and y'all are like, wait, what is the poker game? We'll talk about it in a second. I just want to give a couple of mentions to some things. Number one, that fire that happened in the Bronx, that deadly fire killed 17 people. We just want to say to all the people, the family members of the people that passed away, just our condolences.
Yes, our condolences. Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
That was wild.
Yes, it was.
The most deadliest fire in New York history.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said on CNN.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. Now, on lighter news, I also want to give a big shout out to Newark Arts High School alumni, MJ Rodriguez. She is the first transgender to win a Golden Globe. She was in a show called Pose. I didn't watch that. You ever heard of Pose?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard of Pose?
Yeah.
So it's a short-lived show. It's been on for 3 seasons. She won a Golden Globe for it for Best Female Actress on a TV show.
Congrats to her.
Congrats to her. The reason why I brought it up is because Michael B. Jordan came from there about 15 years ago. And then 15 years before him, it was Tisha Campbell and Still from Juice.
Savion
Glover.
Mm-hmm.
Ars Ha has been distributing stars in Newark, New Jersey for at least 40 years. And I'm so mad at my parents for not bringing me to Ars Ha. Who the told you I wanted to go to University High? I should have been in arts.
Hey, you was smart.
I got
man.
accepted, bro.
You got accepted to arts?
Yeah.
Yo, you would have shined at arts, bro.
Pops didn't want me in Newark no more. He shipped me off to Maplewood. But
yo,
whatever.
You would have shined at arts. I think you would have took all the Still jobs, yo.
He older than me, bro.
You would have stole his jobs
10
anyway.
years older than me.
They would have found out young. It's like, yo, this is young Still. Put him in there. Put him in the game.
I would make a lot of money though.
So with this poker game, this is what I want to do. We're going to name rap artists, right? Well, I'm going to name the rap artist. As the moderator, I'm going to say, hey, this artist right here is ba 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 ba. Who y'all beating this artist with? So for instance, we're going to do it right now. Name a top tier rap artist who doesn't have a classic album. I'm going to say Rick Ross. Who's beating me? I got Rick Ross. This is my ace right here.
I could beat you.
You got a river card. What's the river card? Talk to me.
Drake.
I fold. What you got, Smartz?
You said no classic album?
No classic album.
I don't know. Big Sean.
Yo, I said a good. He's not a top tier rapper, yo. Sorry, Big Sean. He's not.
I mean, I can't name anybody. I fold.
You fold?
Yeah, because I'm thinking the artists, top tier artists without classic albums, there are not many that come to mind.
Name one.
Name one. Just name one anyway, other than Big Sean.
2 Chainz.
You think 2 Chainz? Well, say 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz. I said touche. 2 Chainz has a classic album.
No.
I don't think so either.
He got some classic singles, though.
He definitely got some classic singles. It's your birthday. Oh, it's your birthday. Oh. All right, next one. Name a rap artist who would make a great lawyer. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm saying Jay-Z from the rip.
T.I.
That's good. That's good. I think you should fold, though, but that's good, though.
What you got? You said T.I. Oh, wow.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was a great one.
I got one for you, but damn. Yeah.
A rap artist? I don't have anybody, dog.
Jerz, go ahead.
Say Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike?
Yo,
bro.
I would like. Yo, you know what? I'm a fold. I'm a fold.
Or RZA.
No, I'm a fold. If you say Killer Mike, I'm folding. Even though Jay-Z is nasty as a lawyer, because you know his business model is ridiculous. If Killer Mike was your lawyer, I think you'll get away with murder.
That's true.
Think he the Johnny Cochran?
Yo, Killer Mike.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right. You might be right. Killer Mike.
Killer Mike is a political genius. He really is.
Yeah.
He hasn't made well, and I'm not even trying to be rude to Killer Mike because he could rap his ass off. He hasn't made a good album in about 5-6 years. And every time I look at him, I always think he's the other, I'm about to say the other Killer Mike, but you know who I'm talking about? It's another like a dark-skinned, heavy-set brother. Oh, what's his name, yo? He was out for like maybe two albums.
Mike Jones?
No, not Mike Jones.
Okay, then I know
he's a little bit better than Mike Jones, but he an Atlanta dude. Oh, what's his name?
Bone Crusher?
No. He's better than Bone Crusher though. He's better than Bone Crusher. Help me out. Come on.
That's all.
Yo.
From Atlanta?
From Atlanta. Yes. He hangs out with Big Boy. That could be Killer Mike though. I think it's Killer Mike and then he just changed his body.
Well, CeeLo Green?
You talking about CeeLo Green?
No, not CeeLo Green.
He gotta be talking about Killer Mike. There's nobody else that fits that description.
It's Killer Mike. I'm leaving it alone. Okay. Name a rap.
Unless it's MJG you talking about from 8-Ball.
No. It's definitely not them.
That's not Atlanta though.
I know, but MJG looked like
that's
Big
Memphis,
Michael.
right? That's Memphis.
That's Tennessee. I don't know if it's Memphis, but it's definitely Tennessee.
No, I'm just saying, if you were thinking about a big dark skinned dude, it would be MJG.
Name a rap artist who you name a rap artist you would let write for you. So I'm gonna say Kendrick.
Who you would let rap for you?
No, write. You gotta write.
Write for me?
Who name the rap artist? I'm gonna say it again. Name a rap artist you would let write for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying Kendrick.
Damn. Can I write for myself? No? Okay.
I mean, you would have to fold because I got Kendrick, but I'm with you.
I'm gonna go with Jada.
Okay. I'm not folding yet.
I'm going Gilly the Kid.
Yo. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna have to fold. I'm gonna have to fold. I'm going to have to fold on that.
I don't want to say how I really feel, but shout out to $1 million worth of game.
Listen.
Dog, hey, if you know.
Say what you want. Gilly the Kid has to be the greatest ghostwriter in rap history, yo. Now, for real.
If it ain't Rick Ross, it's Gilly.
I'm just saying, like, he single-handedly created 70% of, like, he made somebody the 40th best rapper into the top 10, yo.
Until he learned how to rap himself.
Word is born, yo. That says something. And that's coming from a songwriter. That says something. I wrote for Tretch. Name a rap artist from the 90s or mid-2000s that you would want to see do a drill song. So here's who I would want to see do a drill song. It's Nas.
Okay.
I want to see Nas do a drill song. I know you ain't going to see it, but I want to see Nas do a drill song.
I don't think my answer is nowhere near Nas. I'm going to go with Mystical.
Yo.
Again,
yo, I'm losing. I am losing over here.
Listen, bro, I just don't be having people off the top of my head.
I should let Jerz moderate, yo. Jerz should moderate. Jerz, for a person that don't play poker, Jerz is definitely whipping ass over here, yo.
I'm just going to make you guys laugh with my answers. So every time you come to my turn, it's just going to be ridiculous.
Go ahead.
LL Cool J.
Hey, yo, chill. You lost heavily. Like, get up from the table.
What the This that pilot right here.
22 minutes after the hour now, Arizona joining the growing list of states allowing COVID-positive symptomatic hospital workers to continue working. All this as CDC Director Rochelle Walensky tries to explain the updated guidance for workers on Fox News Sunday.
The thing that's most disruptive to any business or industry is to have half their workforce out because they're sick with COVID. Right now, I think the most important thing to do is to protect Americans. We do that by getting them vaccinated and getting them boosted.
Arizona nurse Caitlin Elcock is one of 700 employees who was fired from a Mayo Clinic on January the 3rd, Smartz, of this past year of 2022 for not adhering to the COVID vaccine mandate. Now, meanwhile, the hospital is allowing COVID positive nurses to continue working with patients. So I want to throw this clip to you. I want you to hear what she has to say about this. Then I got a question for you, and then we can get into Chicago about what's going on with their COVID situation, all right?
Okay.
Play that clip.
There's a lot of irony with it, and it's super unfortunate because there are vaccinated coworkers who have been exposed and they're waiting for their test result to come back, and they're still allowing them to come to work, and their test result is coming back positive towards the end of the shift, and they've already worked that whole shift with the patient, and they're not even sending them home. So at the end of the day, to fire me, who is negative because I am not vaccinated, but to let vaccinated, positive employees still work and take care of patients is not safe, and it's not for the best interest of the patients, unfortunately.
Okay, now hear me out. She's talking about what CDC Director Rochelle Walensky was mandating for Mayo because they allowed this process to happen, these COVID positive nurses to continue to work because they just released 700 employees.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, how do they overcome this? How do they find a way to get COVID positive employees that were vaccinated, but they're positive right now for COVID?
I think they botched that whole idea of mandating people to be vaccinated after they found out they were getting breakthrough cases. You remember when, it might seem like a million years ago, but remember when they said that they were going to start opening the country back up after a 70% vaccination rate?
Yes.
So they didn't follow that promise. I think we got to like 60-something%, and then they began to open up the country and allowing employers and people to just move about their day. They started to open restaurants and giving people the freedom again. And once you let those people go and do their thing, it's going to be hard to get people to go back in the house and sit and wait, right?
I find this crazy only because you're allowing COVID positive employees to protect COVID patients.
Right. So I'm getting to that. So if we would have met that 70% threshold and then open the country up, I think we will be in a better position. Now you're stuck with what you got.
Yeah.
Now you just got to let negative people treat people, whether you're vaccinated or not. We're past that. Mm-hmm. We've been past that. Everyone that wants to be vaccinated, they're vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. In Quebec, if you want to have some liquor, you want to drink some alcohol, then you got to get vaccinated. You understand what I'm saying? So now we're already past that. So it's like, just let the negative people treat the patients, period.
So let's talk about the shop.
Okay.
We love Chicago.
We love Chicago.
We love Chicago. The second city is basically our city. You know why? Because there's a bunch of people that look like us.
Absolutely.
You already know. Shout out to the shop. So this past Wednesday, matter of fact, I said this past Wednesday, we all know if you are fans, passengers, and pilots of this show, we record on Wednesday. So this happened this morning. Wednesday, the Chicago Teachers Union and city officials reached a tentative agreement about COVID-19 safety measures regarding students and teachers returning to class due to an increase in positive COVID cases. Now, here's the tentative deal, Smartz. Chicago is going to follow an agreement among sides to wear KN95 masks for students and staff for the rest of the school year. The availability of weekly COVID-19 testing, I'm pretty sure that's for the students. And well, for everybody, but they're going to make sure them students is good. And parameters for when a school could switch to remote teaching. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're going to, it has to be a certain threshold.
Yeah, they built metrics on, what's going to trigger the at-home teaching.
Exactly. So here goes my question. What should be done that will make the majority of the teachers, the city officials, and of course, the students happy? It's not about who's right or wrong. What can they do to make everybody happy?
You can't really make everybody happy because people that have kids, they want their kids to go to school.
Of course.
Because they got to go to work.
Right.
So any day that a kid has to stay home, somebody has to stay home from work. And unfortunately, everyone don't have the luxury of taking vacation days or days off or paid days. So the government or the city government or the federal government would have to step in and give a leave where you fill out an application. If you have a job and you have to take off work, you fill out an application and you get reimbursed for your work day, sort of like unemployment kind of thing. That would be the only way I would say.
So for me, in order to make everybody happy, and I'm trying my best not to make a joke, this is going to sound ugly, but I was reading this article and one of the teachers were just, she was on the other side of COVID.
Right.
Like she was getting better, but she's still having breathing complications. Now, because she's a teacher, she has to be back at work.
Right.
Her lungs are not well.
Her lungs are saying no.
Her lungs are saying no. She needs a paycheck. We're at this place.
Right.
Because you're going to have some teachers that's going to say, oh no, I'm so happy. Let's get back in class. This is where I want to be, which is understandable.
Right.
This is the problem that we're having now. And then on top of it, we're talking about the third largest school district. So you got a bunch of kids where the parents, some of them, of course, they work every day. They need to get their kids to school. You got some parents that still don't work every day and they still want their kids to go to school. Then you have the opposite. The ones that like, listen, they can stay home. It's not that serious. I just feel like there's a mixed bag of opinions, and I commend the mayor for at least saying we got to get this fixed, even while she's on COVID.
Right.
They're trying to get this fixed because if the federal government steps in, I think it's going to be like mandate city. And I'm not saying that it has to, look, I don't really have too much problems with mandate. I think it's all in when they present a mandate. But I understand that right now we're trying to figure out, hey, look, it's 65, according to CNN, it's 65 million people that are still not vaccinated.
Right.
You want to figure out how can you get 65 billion people to be vaccinated?
You can't.
So
they've already decided that they weren't.
So with that being said, the federal government, if you let them step in, they're going to figure out, well, hold on. Should we step in and just mandate the country?
They can't mandate the country. That's states' rights. Only the state can put those type of mandates out. The federal government doesn't have the power to do that. So that'll never happen. What will happen is the federal government will pull resources from that particular state if they don't mandate it.
And that's
so
how
the federal government will pull funds.
Right, that's all I'm saying. That's how the federal government will be able to step in. But I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
You just basically gave us what the process will look like.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm thinking, especially in a town like Chicago, I think they will be ready to take away funds to a town like that.
I think the federal government should do what they've been doing. And then they stopped it. If you were COVID positive, and you had that 14-day quarantine, they paid you. You got paid from the federal government and you got your money back. So if a teacher is positive, there's no pressure to work. So if they even reduce it, they say 5 days or 10-day quarantine, and then you get retested. And then if you're positive, you do another 5 days. They should extend that benefit where there's no pressure to get to work. You can still get a paycheck and you get better. Period.
Did you just hear that, America? Did you just hear what my homeboy Co Pro Smartz just told you? Listen, so now I got a great idea for all aspiring teachers in America. I know this sounds crazy, but grab your N95 mask and head right on over to Chicago because there's a lot of COVID cases over there, which means there's a lot of opportunity for you. We'll be right back. This is the Late Night Flight.
Hello, passengers. As always, it's our pleasure to entertain you. Please direct your attention to the screen in front of you for a little in-flight entertainment. We know you'll enjoy.
It's Tuffer. It's your man Ted Tuffer, and it's the TLNF Report. Mr. Adam Silver, front and center, please. I need a word with you, my Caucasian brother. You are the NBA's commissioner, which means every decision that's made, you get the final say. I want to talk to you about this 75 greatest players list because I want to take Anthony Davis off and I want to put Klay Thompson on. We're going to sub out Davis and we're going to put Thompson on. Matter of fact, I'm going to start a petition for us to sub out Davis and put Klay Thompson on. This past Sunday, on January 10th, the Golden State Curries, they defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 96-82. Now let's be clear, Golden State, they was not impressive that night. I mean, Steph only had 28 points. He only shot 4 from 11 from deep. And Andrew Wiggins, that $148 million man, only had 10 points. But he played for 34 minutes. And that's a waste of money, don't you think? But Sunday was all about Klay Day. I mean, Klay Thompson came in the game. He scored 17 points in 20 minutes. And that's on that repaired ACL where he crossed over Jared Allen and he believed he could fly right over the entire city of Cleveland so he could dunk right on my man. I mean, he dunked on everybody. It looked like my man was never injured. That's what I'm talking about. It looked like the Golden State Warriors is about to be the best vaccinated team in the entire NBA. In other news, top 5 new ass rapper, The Baby, is teasing a collab with Future the Third. I'm an NBA Youngboy with a brand new flow. And one of the major criticisms of The Baby's career so far is that he don't switch up his flow. I mean, every song sounds the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, The Baby is nice, but all his songs kind of sound like Suge Freestyle Part 15. Hey, Smartz, throw a clip on and let me hear what this track sound like.
Maybach outside, Maybach outside running. Okay. Maybach outside running. I got a stick in this bitch.
Alright. Maybach outside running. Maybach outside. Hit. Yeah, I kind of like it. I ain't gonna lie. However, on the same exact song, just about, I don't know, a minute before or seconds before he debuted this new flow, he doing the same flow. I'm just saying, like, who don't hear this? The other song they got together, he doing the same flow. But that Maybach outside running, that's kind of fly though. I'ma rock with that one. Moving on to what the news. Have you heard of the hot sauce condom scandal? Yo,
wow.
We just can't make these things up here. I'm telling you. So apparently, Drake was having consensual, lustful sex with a female. He decides to, after they was done, of course, he decides to go in the bathroom and dispose of this condom. The female, the consensual, lustful female, then goes into the bathroom after Drake finds disposed condom and whatever garbage disposal Drake decided to put it in, and she proceeds to want to insert what's in the condom inside of her. It burns, she screams, Drake comes running into the room. What happened? She admits to everything that took place and how she tried to trap him and have his baby and all that. Okay, I'm paraphrasing here, but you get the point. And Drake tells this woman, well, I put hot sauce in the condom so he can kill us. I know when the penny sting, that can only mean one thing. New single coming out. When the penny sting. Off that new album you heard. If you were certain this is too late. And now in sad news. In the world of TGIF, the dirty comedian of Hollywood, the funniest white man of America's funniest home videos, and the widow father of Full House, Bob Saget, was found dead in a hotel room Saturday, January 9th at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Orlando, according to the Orange County Sheriff Office. While the cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner, the star of Half-Baked. Okay, now look, I know he was only in the movie for like 40 seconds or so, but this line right here, check this out.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck for coke. I seen him.
Oh man, that had to be one of the funniest lines in the movie, man. R.I.P. Bob Saget. Signing off, this is Ted Tuffer of the TLNF Report. And always remember, when the going gets tough, get tougher.
What up, my passengers? This is your captain speaking, and today on the plane we have the creator, the director, the producer of the Legitimately Mallie podcast, Mahalia Jackson-Butler, and a surprise appearance from her daughter, Mallian Butler, the star character of the Legitimately Mallie podcast and star of Mistletoe in Montana, which you can watch on the Lifetime Channel app, okay? Check that out on the Lifetime Channel app. Their podcast is so amazing because it's more performance than podcasts. You have to listen to it. Don't believe me? Listen to it. But let's hear from right now.
Hello, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Legitimately Mallie, brought to you by Axiom Talent Management, starring Mallian Butler and created by Mahalia Jackson-Butler. Tune in for loads of fun and shenanigans and some drama with Mallie, her friends, and her family. See ya!
Legitimately Mallie. This is the late night flight. You already know this is Nasua New Rule. And tonight's guest on the plane, I have the creator, the director, the producer of a very, very different podcast called Legitimately Mallie. Her name is Mahalia Jackson-Butler. We thank you so much for being on with us tonight. But check me out. I do have a question. Do not mean to just switch it up on you already. I know we're here to talk about a podcast, but I watched something on Lifetime. And then I watched this young girl. Her name was Becca Aguilar, right? But here's the thing. I was on your Facebook and this Becca Aguilar just happens to be your daughter. And she did a thing. The show is called Mistletoe in Montana. So I have to ask you before we even get into your podcast, are you a momager or are you a creator of a podcast? What's going on here? Talk to me.
I love it. No, actually, I am a producer. So I produce many things, podcasts, films, you name it, across the board. And I do help co-manage my daughter's career. She has great representation out of LA. So I certainly don't want to steal their thunder, but I do help where I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I heard she's here right now. I would love to ask her at least one quick question about the movie, if I can.
Of course, yeah.
So is Mallian, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, whoa, I love the energy already. How are you? What's going on with you? How are you?
I'm doing great.
So,
thank you for having me.
Well, hey, look, thank you for being talented. As I said offline to you and your mom. So two things. Number one, I live in Newark, New Jersey, so please give me a picture with your autograph so I can hang it on my wall because this might, it might be worth something in 5 to 10 years. And I need that. All right. And I definitely need that. And number two, here goes my one question for you. I don't mean to be in your business. How old are you?
I'm 15.
Wow. So look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know too many 15-year-olds having their name on the back of their director's chair and hanging out, having a good time on Lifetime. So just be honest with me if you can. How is it like just being this 15-year-old young person, getting to be in movies, getting to be in film, getting to meet other actors and actresses at this young stage? Because, hey, I mean, let's be honest, in 10 years, you'll be 25, in 20 years, you'll be 35, and you'll still be so young and still new to the game. So how does that feel?
I honestly feel so blessed, especially knowing that not many people get the opportunity that I get to experience.
Right.
And I just feel like it's such a great opportunity that I get to experience all the time. And, also, I've also gotten to work on Blackish, with actresses and actors like Tracy Ellis Ross, Anthony Anderson, Marsai Martin, Miles Brown, all of these amazing people in the industry. So I definitely feel super, super blessed and super, super lucky with all of these opportunities that I have.
That's amazing. So, Mallia, check me out. You and your mom are part of a podcast, in my opinion, is really good. It's really good. It has this family sitcom feel to it, but it's audio. I love it. Now, this show that you're hearing in an audio sense, it sounds like something you can actually watch on TBS or TNT.
Right.
What made you... Well, matter of fact, of course, I want to know what made you create this. But one more thing, if I can't say this too, and I hope I'm not tripping when I'm about to say something about African-American women, not in a bad way, in a great way.
Okay.
African-American women run podcasting for the most part. They do. Like, as far as the host of podcasting, Black women run this business with a flag on it. No problem. I would say one of the things that can be not a problem, but it's just a situation, is that most women that are Black women that have their own podcast, they may speak of the same issues, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to separate yourself from the pack if everyone's doing the same thing. As a man, a lot of men talk about sports. I wanted to make sure, like, hey, look, I come from an acting, radio, music background. I want to do some type of acting and improvisational stuff. That's my thing. That was going to help me separate myself from the pack of the guys that want to do the things that they want to do. What made you create this style that is different from any Black woman that I've ever heard of a podcast? And then on top of it, just different from every podcast, period, where this sounds like prime time, 8 o'clock Disney family sitcom, but it's on audio. I mean, it's amazing. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that, actually. What really prompted the development of the podcast series is the show was originally created to be a film production. And so we produced it. We were, going to make the rounds in LA, had started to make the rounds in LA, had some interested parties to pick up the pilot, the whole 9 yards. And then COVID hit and everything was halted. like all of our efforts, meetings stopped, the whole 9 yards. And I sat on it for about 8 months. And then my literary manager came to me and said, Mahalia, this is too great a show for us to not move it forward, one way or another. And I said, well, what were you thinking? And she said, well, let's just try it as a podcast series. And apparently this type of product is picking up steam in the podcast world, episodic podcast series.
Yes.
So she introduced me to a few of them, and I thought, okay, well, I think we can pull something like that off. So I assembled my team. I actually utilized the original cast from the film production, which you can find that I'll send you the film production to watch offline.
Wow.
But anyhow, I assembled my team, brought together a wonderful young editor, Jordan T. Smith, paired up with the best-selling novelist, Brian W. Smith. And before we knew it, we were rocking and rolling. So there are 11 episodes in this first season of Legitimately Mallie. And what we did, which was very interesting, it was excruciatingly, time-consuming, hard work to get this production done in the time frame that we did. But we shot an episode every week, and for 11 weeks straight, we distributed every Thursday a new episode. And what really prompted us to move in that direction is our backs were against the wall, and we just needed to pivot and come up with a way to move what we know to be a beautiful product forward. And I'm so glad we did.
What made you stay with, I would say, as two adults, we're talking, what made you want to stay with the more family-oriented presentation of the show and not a little bit wrong? Like, because I see like where the jokes are more family-oriented, like it gets a little saucy, but not like too much sauce. Is really, right. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, I like the fact that you keep it where you want to keep it. What made you decide to do it like that?
Well, interestingly enough, when I initially wrote this show, I wrote it for my daughter. Her nickname is Mallie.
Right.
So I wrote it for her when she was 9-10 years old, and I wrote with Disney and Nickelodeon in mind. And so that's I think that genre of storytelling is what my interest is primarily. I focus on and specialize in family-friendly content. I am a mother of 2 and a grandmother and a wife and all of these things. And so that's really where my sweet spot, and I have a soft spot in my heart for that type of content. However, as a producer and a writer, I write all manner of things. But that's one of the things that I do try to, I kind of keep the standard there where we have a little something for everyone. We've got something for the adults. We've got something for the children. And if the family wants to, the mom and dad wants to come together and listen to a show and have their kids be a part of it, there's nothing those kids are going to hear that, wouldn't be appropriate for them to hear. That's what I take pride in doing.
They say that the next generation of podcasters, or the podcasters not podcasters, but the podcast listeners that are really creeping up right now are people with the ages of 15 to 25. What do you think that you and your team are willing to do to make sure that you can grab up this key demographic right here? Because this is definitely an audio show that 15 to 25-year-olds would not only listen to, in my opinion, but they would actually take notes, and maybe they could be the next generation of Black American, white American, any American, period, of podcasters.
Well, of course. Well, our goal too with this show was to cross over. And if you notice, we've got, all types of characters. You've got the sassy grandmother. You've got the professional mother. I mean, you've got something. We've got a Latino boy. We've got a Caucasian girl.
That's right.
And there's all of this different vernacular. And what we did was we just kind of brought them all together. And the commonality is friendship and family.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your age. Everybody identifies with that. And so I think that, as we need to evolve and change, we will. But think about some of the timeless classics out there, The Cosby Show, Different World, some of these, different strokes. If you go back a little further, we didn't have to water it down or acquiesce to what the socially acceptable norms are, or socially accepted norms are at that time. I mean, it's like they had a good product. They found their audience and they were rewarded for sticking to the formula. I think with this family-friendly show, there will always be an audience who's looking for this particular type of product. And so I think that we can stay with this formula and I think we'll do okay with it. Now, as far as, your statement about, the newest listeners, incoming group of listeners are between the ages of 15 and 25. The beautiful part about being the writer and producer is, I have the freedom and the liberty to create things that might appeal more to a different type of demographic or a different group of people who have different interests other than family-friendly content.
I'm going to get you out of here on this question. So I want to read out the description, if you will, of your podcast. Sure. A funny and engaging teen family sitcom about Mallie, the know-it-all teenager who doesn't quite know it all. Mallie, the classic girl next door, and her two best friends, Ernie and Sophie, hilariously take on real-life issues with the finesse of a bull in a china cabinet. So here's the thing, and I hope your daughter is still here, because I watch a program that a lot of people don't watch. It's called wrestling, right? Now, in wrestling, right, they say that your character is 10 times what you really are. So, Mallie, you're about to be upset because I'm asking Mom this question. Is your daughter the bull that's in the china cabinet with that type of finesse in real life right now?
real life times 10. And she's the know-it-all who doesn't quite know it all. That is her. It was so easy for her. And she'll tell you to portray that role because so much of, obviously it's overly exaggerated, but she's just always been that, I say wild child for lack of a better term, but she's been a free spirit since she's about 2 years old. She's been the life of the party, the entertainment of the family. And we knew early on that we needed to get her involved in the arts. And to be honest with you, we tried everything. We tried t-ball, piano, dance, you name it. And at 9 years old, we discovered her first love, which is acting.
Amazing.
And so, on that show, you do get a little glimpse of her personality.
Thank you for flying the late night flight. Shout out to all the pilots who contribute to the fastest rising podcast. If you want to contribute, DM us at The Late Night Flight.
Hey, yo, what the f***? This is some Pally right here.